What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Your boy Jermaine Views. Listen, sorry about earlier. The live stream I was doing, I'm not sure what was interrupted or whatever it is, but some of the video didn't upload. It was just some technical issues. But guys, I want to continue talking about prices and stuff like that. As I said earlier, diesel hit $6 a gallon over here in the Northeast. Of course, it is cheaper or more expensive elsewhere, because in the United States we don't have a national price. We have averages in different states, and but we hit $6 a gallon over here in the Northeast, Connecticut, really. Um, I think the consumer is getting squeezed. I actually work in an industry that really depends on discretionary spending. For y'all don't know what discretionary spending is the amount of money a consumer has left over after the consumer spend on essential items. And essentials are housing, energy, um, food, water, whatever it is. Over here in Connecticut, we energy is broken down into heat and gas for cooking. If you use gas for cooking, a lot of us use electric stove, but for the most part, I'm talking about energy in terms of like gas for heat or heating oil for to keep um, your house or apartment warm during the winter time. And it's also broken down into housing as well. And under housing you have rent and mortgages, and so those are the essential. And anything left over after that is what we call discretionary spend or discretionary budget. So, and consumers are getting squeezed. So, after spending all this money on their essential, they don't really have anything or much of any money left over for discretionary spend. And I work specifically in an industry that really strive on discretionary spending. And I know my customers, I know my consumers, I know my customers. I've been doing it for a while now, and they're getting squeezed. Right now it's tax season. Tax season kicks off from President's Day until around the second to third week of April. It dies down, but like now, it is like there's no tax season because we're not seeing those tax income rolling in, and I'm not sure why. Well, I'm sure why, because everything is just getting expensive and more, and customers are not spending their tax money on discretionary items. They're using it to pay, excuse me, to pay down bills, and they're using it to really stay afloat just in case they have a bad week or two um, of work. Using it to stay afloat and pay down bills. So discretionary spending is not coming in that much. You understand? So that's why my industry now is facing a lot of challenges. And another thing I know too is like uh, people's credit is getting bad, and they're maxed out on credit card, they're maxed out on Afterpay, Klarna, um, all those buy now pay later financing options. They're maxed out on that because people using that to stay afloat right now, and the recession fear is on. The economy is slowly coming to a grind, slowly coming to like a standstill, and a lot of people are not making ends meet. You know what I mean? And so it's tough, guys. It's really tough. It's really tough. It is tough out here, and um, no matter what anyone tells me, I see it in my day-to-day operation because my industry relies a lot on discretionary spend, and people not spending like that. People are not spending. Um, for those of you who doesn't know that, I sell furniture pretty much, and it's this is we are currently in spring season, and spring season is a big house buying time. Like a lot of people tends to buy houses in spring. You know, they go to the showings. They, you know, that it's just a house buying season, spring season, and a lot of people who are selling usually get furniture to stage, or people do move in spring as well too, apartments and stuff like that. But long story short, we usually get a lot of people coming in buying furniture to stage, etc., and people who actually purchase houses or who are under contract to buy usually come in and look at furniture to 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 buy, or even put down money on it, or even like buy it outright, and just wait for them, and just wait for them to close so they could get their furniture delivered. But we just hit spring like a week ago, but I'm not seeing any of that. I'm not seeing any of that. No one is coming in to buy furniture, talking about buying houses, talking about purchasing homes, talking about doing anything or moving, etc. It is like that just comes to a standstill. And the reason why is like, all that money you have, even if they're buying houses or buying homes, whatever it is, and I think they're probably moving into the new place with their old stuff because they don't have that discretionary money to buy the new stuff. That is not really essential, but you can live without it. You see what I mean? So I'm not seeing anywhere where people are just buying stuff and buying, furniture to actually get in a new place because they're getting squeezed. The money is not there anymore. The money they have to spend is just to cover their basic necessities: food, shelter, water, their rent or mortgages and stuff like that. Pay their car note because they might be locked into a car note already, so they can't afford to buy even new cars. So this is what's going on, and the economy is coming to a standstill. And as well, in my industry, I can speak for my industry where I'm in, it's slowly coming to a standstill because customers are squeezed, food prices are outrageous. I showed you guys earlier how each week, because I go to the grocery store. Personally, this is what I do. I go to the grocery stores every 2 to 3 days because I like fresh food. And I've been taking notes and of the prices on some stuff, you know, and I see that it's just ticking up every other day, every other few days, it's just ticking up. And I understand it's because of the ongoing war and stuff, and energy prices and stuff. I understand that, but it is getting crazy out here. And as I said, we might on the brink of of a recession. Not might be as deep, as bad as previous recessions, but there's a slowdown. It's evident that there's a slowdown in the economy. Um, People are not buying. Um, I'm not sure how big are the tax refunds this season, but I don't think we're getting any of the tax refund impact in my industry because I usually be very busy between President's Day and the third week of April. As I said before, usually be blowing out sales. Like people be in buying stuff like crazy, like just buying, shopping, shopping, shopping. I'm not seeing any of that. currently. So this is concerning, and there's a fear that the recession is coming around the corner, and slowdown is going to cause major impact and stuff. But not gas, but diesel make an all-time high. Um, I think the national average diesel make an all-time high, as I said, between yesterday and today. And what people don't understand is that the price of diesel really dictate the price of everything around this country, and as it relates to consumer goods. Because have you guys ever been on the highways and see these 18 wheelers just driving, driving, driving? They're running diesel. And what's in the back of those 18 wheelers are goods that people buy, like supermarket goods, whatever it is, flour, rice, vegetables, fruits, um, whatever it is. Just think of it, like different companies, Family Dollar, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. They have their trucks that goes from distribution center to the stores, and those trucks operate in diesel, and those trucks charge these companies a price, and the price that they charge is based on the cost of doing business, and the cost of doing business is going to be impacted by the price of diesel. So it's going to trickle down to the consumer. It's going to trickle down to us. Even Amazon. You're going to see Amazon prices slowly ticking up. It happens um, in 2022 during the Ukraine war. Amazon prices trickled up a little bit, and it's going to happen again. You know, so you might see that even Amazon, they're not going to take the hit. They're going to pass the price increase on to us. So these are some things you got to put in consideration, guys, because what I mean. You just got to find creative ways how to survive out here now, because as I said in previous streams, you guys got to stop driving unnecessarily and try, you know, make the necessary adjustment. You got to, practice group economics. You know, pull your money together, buy stuff that is essential. You know what I mean? And that's the way you're gonna survive. This economy is tough, man. This economy is tough, and it's just gonna get even tougher. And that's the way you gotta do it. Group economics work, and you know what I mean. So it is just something of concern out here, and I'm not sure how long this is gonna go on for. And one thing with prices, though, even though the price shock is a direct derivative of the war. Even if this war should end tomorrow and everything squash and the Strait of Hormuz reopen and oil and gas start passing through, flowing through without any fear and without anything, and whatever it is, you still might see those prices at the grocery stores still be up there, because when prices increase at grocery stores or whatever it is, it doesn't normally go back down immediately or whatever it is. It takes a long time for it to go down, but it spiked immediately. So, you know, these are going to be increasing prices over time, more and more and more, and you just got to be aware of what's going on. You got to be very aware um, about these prices and what's going on. So that's it, guys. I'm not going to hold you on here for too long. I was just doing a quick follow up on the live stream I did earlier regarding the food prices at the supermarket, and I was just giving you my view and insight from a industry's perspective about what's going on in a specific industry. I'm not sure they might be different in other industries, but I know within the furniture industry that I'm in right now, that is solely dependent on a lot of discretionary income and a lot of discretionary spending. It is not happening right now. It is very slow. People's credit is jacked up. People's they're stretched thin. They're very much stretched thin, and it is what it is as of the moment, and it is hurting. Everyone is feeling the pain right now. So um, that's it, guys. I want to say thank you guys for watching. For those who watch, you don't have to watch, but you do find time to really checking in and watch. And thank you guys if you would just like these videos, because there's jewel in these conversations. You know what I mean? You can learn something here and implement it in your life and use it as something to leapfrog off and make changes that will definitely improve your economic situation. You understand? So I want to appreciate you guys for just tuning in for those who tune in and please remember like, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop any content at all. It's your boy Jermaine Views, man. Thank you for watching. I'll be going out right now. Peace.